Good afternoon and welcome to this fourth round of New Zealand's longest running football knockout competition, the Delivery Easy Chatham Cup. Today's fixture at Petone Memorial Park is three-time winner Des Smith Ray White Real Estate Petone versus Thirsty Whale Napier City Rovers. While their league positions are quite a gulf apart, Napier sit at the top of the Central League currently, while Petone sit in 7th place. But the joy of the cup, the underdog can have their day in the sun. In 1985, Petone hosted then National League and Chatham Cup holders Gisborne City, and in true David versus Goliath style came out the victors 1-0. And as we all know, in the beautiful game, anything is possible. Napier, however, will arrive full of confidence after their 3 times come from behind victory last time out versus last season's Chatham Cup holders Wellington Olympic. But Sam Pickering's young Chargers should have nothing to fear, having narrowly lost to Napier 1-0 in their Central League Round 6 match back in May. I'm Paul Ollie Olstorn, and alongside me today is Tech Director Supremo Phil Barden and special guest commentator Petone Centurion and club legend Mr. Russell Turner. Firstly, Barts, what do you think of the game today?
Thanks, Ollie. I think Napier would have to go on favourites. I think we saw the odds earlier and they were heavily favoured. But Petone, young side, and it's, as you said, it's Chatham Cup, so anything's possible.
Russell, first time in the commentary box this season, mate. Great to have you back. Thoughts?
Thanks, Sol. Great to be here with you and Barts. Tremendous day for a start. Beautiful sunshine. Pitch will be in perfect condition, you'd expect. Bit of a breeze, but nothing that we're not used to here. Yeah, look, Petone got nothing to lose, have they? Napier high flying, top of Central League. Petone, even though they're at home, will be fairly large underdogs, we would think. So, as I say, nothing to lose. Quarter-final place at stake. They can go out and just they can just play themselves. You know, they can just express themselves, give it their best shot. They've got nothing to lose. That's the way I see it. They just need to keep it tight and not concede early and work their way into the game. Take their chances when they're offer, and why not? Why not today?
And why not today? And then the lineups today for Napier, pretty standard stock side for Napier these days as they strive up the Central League competition. In goal they'll have William Tonning. Number 5, Jack Albertini will play at right back. A centre back pairing of Luca Barclay, former Petone player, and Jim Hoyle, who feels like he's been playing for about 27 years. Liam Schofield will be left back at number 3. Holding the midfield for Napier today, Ross Willocks, who just returns from injury, will be wearing 8, while the hard-working and driving Cam Emerson will be at 16. English import Callum Cook, winner of the Euro Under-17s, will be the pivot and attack at number 7. Wide on the right for Napier, State Florida's star player Dan McCowan. Centre of the park today is Ashton Hurd, who's replacing the injured Leo Brown, and Ben Stanley comes into the side wide on the left. The man who already has 5 Chatham Cup goals to his name. For Petone, change in goal today. Shea Stapleton, the veteran, will return in goal in place of Lucas Seagull, who will feel hard done by with his removal. On the right, Blake Chandler will start his first game back from injury. Centre-back, a new centre-back pairing of Jared Eglinton and Joshua Papa Preston will try and hold the Napier attack at bay. While on the left, the super dynamic Nick Drayton, the scorer of the equalising goal last week, will be at left back. The pivot for Petone will be Hami Paranihi Nuhu, who will always just be known by his Brazilian name of Hami. The driver midfield will be Lucas Jelly, and the holding in midfield will be captain number 12, Ollie Pickering. Wide on the right, number 9, Data Tokarov. New signing Xavier Coleman, although I say new, he's been at the club for a month now, will be wearing 10 on the left, while Harry Lamont will lead the line. On the bench today for Petone, Cam Healy, also recently returning from injury. Jared Parada French, who made a good impact when he came on against Wellington Phoenix. Leo Gunn, Alex Davis, and the veteran wearing number 14, who's turned up from Capital 6, Luke Grinley, will lead the line. Teams just coming out now into this sun-drenched day here at Petone. This will be a game that will be full of everything. There'll be action, there'll be drama, there'll be controversy, and we love it. Phil? Yeah, the crowd's still building in. A couple of games still to finish, but looks like it's over the 500 mark already and building. Sponsors will be happy about that. Des Smith Ray White Realty in the box seat with the Miss Glamorous Leslie Whitcliffe Smith, who just turned 40 recently.
Just thinking, lads, what odds on a penalty shootout today?
Oh, that's a good shout, Russell. They've only met once before in the Chatham Cup, and that went to extra time that Napier won 4-2. Petone held that lead till a minute to go of normal time. No shootout recorded in the history between the two sides. Who's to say today's not the first day we see it?
Very topical with what's been going on in the States recently. What thoughts on this morning's performance in the shootout?
I plead the Fifth Amendment there around the Netherlands national side, having only won 2 out of 10 penalty shootouts in major tournaments. We'll move on.
Too soon, understand.
Yeah, going back to the possibility of a penalty shootout today, I think Petone will probably take that. If you ask them now, if they take Napier to penalties, I don't think Napier will be keen on extra time whatsoever. They won't want to do any extra work today to get the win.
Yeah, there's some debate about whether a penalty shootout is a good way to end a game, and people say, oh, it's cruel for the losing team, etc., etc. I find it's a good way to finish the game. It's a football skill for the outfield players to beat the skilled custodian, and people say it's a gamble. It's not a gamble. It's a football skill, and may the best guy win. Unfortunately, it wasn't a team in orange on Tuesday, but again, we'll move on.
It's entertainment too, isn't it? It's drama. It's everything that makes headlines, and in terms of the world game and on the world stage. Yeah, it's cruel, but it's here to stay. They're not gonna change it.
Phil, what do you think the alternative could be if it wasn't a penalty shootout? The American one, the old one, run from halfway.
From halfway, yeah. No, I think after 120 minutes, I wouldn't fancy running from halfway myself. I have actually been involved in 2 Chatham Cup semi-finals myself and lost both on pens. So, yeah, not great experience.
Not
but
fun for you either,
no,
then,
not fond at all.
Just to close that, were you a penalty taker, and was it a hit or a miss?
Actually, I wasn't in one. I think I was in the other, and I think I scored.
Were you still on after 120 minutes, Phil?
That's a very good question. I think that could be why I didn't take one in the first one.
Right, here we are, back at the live action now. Napier kicking off in their red and white strip, attacking our goal to our right, while Petone line up in their traditional Chelsea appearance of blue shirts, blue shorts and white socks, with the goalkeeper wearing a traditional colour of all green. Napier get us underway, and they get it out to Schofield early. Captain Hoyle just setting up their stocks there. First touch for Luca Barclay, who played under 19s for Petone. Petone just setting up their good solid defensive shape at the moment. Napier happy to just knock the ball around and give everyone an early touch where they can.
Just quickly going back to the goalkeepers' kits, both in green today, Ollie.
That's
don't answer that very often.
That's a season first, Phil.
Pet peeve of mine when they don't have contrast between the referee. Incredible how they allow that to happen at any level. But yes, what say Tonning's up for a corner late in the game, and there's confusion in the box. Shouldn't happen.
What, between him and Stapleton, you mean?
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Maybe he could handle it and they wouldn't know who it was.
Break here now from Napier with Ashton Hurd getting into the box, taking on Papa Preston, but he uses his physical frame well to make sure that there's no chance of a strike on the Stapleton goal. Shea Stapleton spent the early part of the season down at South Island United in the OFC Pro League. Didn't make an appearance, but had a great time at the buffets and the luxury restaurants and hotels that they were staying at. Coleman now turns away from his man. Bit of miscommunication between him and Harry Lamont. But Xavier Coleman is that man with a bit of X factor about him that could maybe today create opportunity for Petone to profit. Albertini with the throw. Goes long. The Papa Preston cushion header beautifully down to Hami. And Harmy with his traditional spin turn and get away and takes on 6 players, but unsuccessfully. And Jared Eglinton in his new-found position of centre back, coming in hard against Ashton Hurd. They take the throw quickly to Barclay, and the wind holds that one back pass up from Barclay, and Tonning has to send it downtown. And Luke Drayton's got a bit of company, and he'll do well to shield this out for a goal kick, which he does.
I think possibly the wind might have picked up a bit since the kick-off. Had a bit of influence on that ball going back to Tonning, didn't it? Sort of held out.
Oh, here's a chance for McCowan, getting on the top of the box, tries to lay it off, gets the return, comes out to Hurd, and Hurd, oh, that's a great one-handed save from Stapleton. Ashton Hurd with the first strike of anger of 4 minutes into the game.
Yeah, he caught that well, didn't he? Heading for the bottom corner, and Stapleton made a great save.
If there's any debate about whether Stapleton should be in there, he's proved his worth already today. Cook with the corner. In swinging with a bit of wind assistant. Yes, right into the near post, and Stapleton punches away, and it comes back out. And Cam Emerson kind of bobble volleyed that. He'd like to have a bit of better connection with that, but that was a wicked corner from Callum Cook.
Yeah, it's great delivery, isn't it? I mean, you'd be doing that all day in conditions like this. Wind behind, whip it in, cause some chaos, get it in the mixer. That's what we like to see.
Didn't you say there was little wind at the start of the game, Russell? Albertini wins the header well. Hoyle does the second phase work. Drayton with a powerful header in return. Napier have certainly started brightly. Harmy just settling it down. Stapleton sends it long, but there's a chase for Lamont, and that would be all. But Schofield using all his 100-plus experience games to just tidy things up at the back there.
You're a bit harsh on Russell there, Ollie. I tried to bail him out with the winds picked up since we kicked off.
Cook trying to spread the play across, but Drayton's cut out the 40-metre ball, and Harmy picks it up in the centre of the field. Eglinton goes long, this time for Tokarov to chase, but Lamont's in there too. Tonning's come out of his area. He's not cleared that successfully, and Tokarov tries to knock it back to Lamont, and it's sliced away to cover by Luca Barclay. Of course, to get to this stage, Petone had a 2-0 win over Greytown in round 2. A late goal from Ollie Pickering sealing that one. Well, 2 late goals against Seatoun at Seatoun Park, a park that's synonymous with bad vibes for Petone Football Club. Got them through to here today. Both new players, Alex Davis and Xavier Coleman, scored that day for Petone. And Coleman's got a chance to run at Barclay now, and he plays it into Lamont, but Lamont's well shadowed by Hoyle with a no-nonsense tackle, puts Lamont to the deck.
Takes a bit to get past Jim Hoyle these days, doesn't it? He's very solid.
Drayton with the throw. Plays a little sharp 1-2 with Pickering, and again it's Callum Cook that just hoists it out. Well competed for by Chandler. And that's a good touch from Jelly to find Harmy. Harmy to Drayton. Bit of a bit tight there for that situation. And Albertini will take the throw. Last time out, Callum Cook scored a late second goal to put pay to who'd they beat in the previous round? Russell, you've got their team name there.
I've got this information for you, Al. They beat Watson Integrity Palmerston North Marist Football Club.
Is there any letter in the alphabet not in that name?
Yeah, well, you wouldn't want that to be a racehorse and having to call that
No.
times, would you? It's
I still think
the longest name I've ever heard for a football club.
I still think the best sponsored name we ever had, mate, was when Petone were drawn to play Hookers New Plymouth in the Chatham Cup. Coleman now, top of the box, charging in, looking for a chance to strike, and he's covered well by Albertini, and Tonning does a great keeper's job there and coming out and smothering it. Sends it out quickly to Cook. Cook wanting to play box to box today, he told me in the dressing room before the match. Let's see if he can maintain that. Tokarov driving it forward.
Just while there's a little break in play there, we thought we'd put the text machine number out there, and you can contact us with any sort of, well, we're not accepting criticisms, but certainly any praise or any suggestions, and vote for your man of the match later on. But give us a text on 0274 610 316. 0274 610 316. All donations gratefully accepted as well.
We accept positive criticism, mostly. Napier again, trying to build some pressure up in the Petone end. And it's Willocks, who's been a real key for them early in the season before he got injured. But here's McCallum now, and he's got to the byline. What choice does he make? He scuffs that. That was a disappointing end to a promising move for Napier City Rovers, and Schofield fires it back across. And is he onside? There's no flag. It's pulled back across the face of goal, and it would only have needed a touch. Comes back to the top, and it's Schofield, and again Stapleton has to palm it away. Second piece of real opportunity for Napier, Phil. Napier putting on the pressure now.
Yeah, they certainly are. It was a bit of a bobbly shot, but it made it difficult for Stapleton. And let's see how this corner goes. I'm assuming he's going to whip that in at the near post, and it's going to be tricky for Stapleton.
It would be mad if he didn't repeat the earlier corner. And he's exactly that. And Stapleton's had to again punch clear. And there's a header from, looked like Emerson, but couldn't quite get it on target. Sorry, it was the Wolves supporting man, Ben Stanley, the man with 5 Chatham Cup goals to his name, that got that last touch. Russell?
I don't know about you, but I'd like to see a defender on each post at these corners. Old school, I know, but there's been a number of goals in this World Cup that would have been defended against if they had a man on the post. I don't understand why they don't do it.
I have to concur with that, mate. I don't know when it stopped being a tradition, but it stopped in the Premier League, and then they went to putting one on the post. It's a large amount of goal area for a keeper to cover, especially from a corner or free kick. Pickering, centre of the park now with a chance for Petone to break. He's found Tokarov wide on the ring, the speedster. Can he get some damage on Schofield? He's going to take him on. He cuts inside, drives a shot in, and Tony has to parry it. Recovers it at the second attempt, but that was a good strike from Tokarov. Well played, Ollie Pickering, to get that ball out early to him.
Petone doing a reasonably good job of staying in that midfield wrestle, aren't they? They're competing, they're not allowing themselves to be dominated.
No more so than Jelly winning that tackle right there at halfway, and Lamont now feeds Coleman. Coleman thought about delivering it, decided against it. He's going to now take him on for the third time in the same movement. It just settles down to Eglinton, who's, like I said earlier, has found a little nice new niche of twilight of football at centre back. Never thought he'd be playing there. He didn't. That's his words, not mine, but he did very well last week and the week before there. And Harmy plays the ball through to Coleman. Coleman's on the right side of his man. He just lost track of the ball. Was that an opportunity Phil he could have taken it first time?
Possibly. I think he did okay. He just unfortunately bobbled and lost sight of the ball.
Hey, bro. Good to see you, man. Yeah, got a bit tangled under his legs there, didn't it? He just couldn't quite thread enough to get the strike away. To kill a ball from Harmy, setting him up.
Yeah, it was a great ball from Harmy. Enabled also by Jelly's quick thinking in midfield. Moved it on to Harmy nice and quickly. Gave Harmy that time to seek out that pass.
We haven't seen that quick transitional play much in Petone's season, have we? But maybe that's a new thing that they've been working on at training, because it's certainly been effective twice so far this match. Hoyle in the middle of the park winning that one. He's come out of his centre-back position and won that strongly. Finds Willocks. Willocks gets it out to Schofield. Into Cook. He's the danger man for Petone. Scored 7 goals already this season as Callum Cook. 2 in the cup and 5 in the league.
He's certainly brought a bit of class to the Napier midfield, hasn't he?
From that first game, Phil, it looks like he's certainly got into better condition. You know, I'm not saying that he was in condition, but he's certainly adapted to New Zealand's. And here's a chance here, and it looks like Albertini,
Offside.
but he's just been called offside, and he's put it over the bar anyway. And I still feel if you're going to get in those positions, you want to score.
Might as well finish it off. You're probably not going to get booked. Well, hopefully not. Yeah, going back to Cook, he's definitely a bit of a midfield general, isn't he, for Napier? And he's very good when pressured at holding on to the ball and looking for that easy pass.
Eglinton with the long ball. I think they'd want to pick out someone better than Hoyle, though. I know they're aiming for Lamont, but Hoyle's probably going to win 90% of that challenge.
I feel like he wins it because of his physicality as well. He's, clearly good in the air, but he uses his body a lot better than perhaps Harry Lamont does.
True. Of course, Lamont's still raw in his centre forward career, as Napier now play the ball quickly from McCowan to Hurd. Hurd plays it back to McCowan again, back to Hurd. He whips across to the far post, and is that Callum? No, it's Ben Stanley who's notched the first goal in the 15th minute. The man who's 15-0 up in his mini-putt competition against his girlfriend has now scored in the 15th minute against Petone. Napier City Rovers 1, Des Smith Realty Petone 0. Phil?
I think he might give that one to his girlfriend, so she's got off the mark. But that looked a bit easy, didn't it? If I'm honest, it was a great knock, but Stanley seemed to come in a little bit unopposed, and nice sight for finish. No, he was never going to miss from there. No chance for the keeper.
My question about that is that ball has travelled a long way before it's made, Stanley. So are we looking at the centre-backs being slightly out of position, or has Blake Chandler in his first game back from injury just not maybe up to the pace of picking up? Because Stanley's come from his side. Now we want to see what response Petone can have now. Because they've certainly been in the match.
I was just about to say, a little unfortunate for them because they've been in the match, haven't they? They've started pretty well. They've had a couple of chances on goal. So yeah, they'll be disappointed because that was a little bit too easy. Russell, thoughts?
Well, yeah, done and dusted now, isn't it? But 15 minutes gone, they've just got to stay in the fight, and they've got to, they can't afford to concede again. Certainly not quickly, and they've really just got to keep them out there as long as they can. Get through to half time, reassess. Having said that, half an hour to half time.
Yeah, it's a long way.
A lot of football to be played.
Schofield now delivers another early one in. But Eglinton deals with that, puts up the Bowden Barrett bomb. Cook. Back to Hoyle. Willocks. They've certainly missed him, and in his return is Napier's improvement in form. And there's another ball through, and Hurd's away, but the flag comes up this time. And they'll be thankful for that, Petone. They seem to be getting caught a little bit in the space behind.
Yeah, it's definitely made us run a little too early then, a clear offside, I think. But nice ball from Cook, just bent it with the outside of his right foot.
And there's an example of Hoyle using his physicality to outwit Lamont there and just hold him up a bit. And Lamont being a bit too polite and kind of, okay, mate, I'll just run around you, where, he's got to let Hoyle know he's in the game and give him a bit. Albertini with the throw. And Napier's defensive third now. So if Petone could put some kind of press in here. Coleman blitz it square to Pickering. Pickering to Lamont. And there's a free kick there. Right on the edge of the box. Albertini clips Xavier Coleman cynically. And now we have an opportunity for an attacking free kick right on the edge of the box.
I'd like to see a yellow card for that. I'm not one to call for yellow cards, but that was cynical, wasn't it? He was going to be through on goal, and he was just outside the box, so he basically took him down and prevented that goal scoring opportunity. So, if that was inside the box, it's a red card potentially. Why isn't it a yellow card?
That's why I call it cunning foul, because he kind of looked as though he tripped over his legs accidentally, but we could all see from here that was quite deliberate.
He was certainly pleading his innocence, wasn't he? But I agree, Bart. If he's going to give a foul for bringing him down, he's got to give a card of some description there. and I would have been happy enough with yellow.
Pickering scored a couple of goals from dead-piece situations this year, and he's the man on the ball at the moment. But a Papa Preston also looks like he's interested with his left foot. Coleman now walking away. Three-man wall. Tonning's got a bit of exposure at the near post. If we get a nice whip around here into that near post area, could show something. Pickering drives it across square, though. A Papa Preston, whoa, that's a sloppy touch. And Dan McCallum, who's got a lot of pace, has sends the ball early through to Stanley again, the man who's just scored already. And it's going from an offensive free kick. Petone now have a defensive corner. That is quick transition.
Yeah, and that's one of the, I guess, costs for not beating the first man with your delivery. You then leave yourself a bit open for a fast break. That's exactly what we got.
Personally, I'd like to have seen a strike there. You know, put it on goal. There seemed to be a lot of space on Tonning's right-hand side. Maybe the lack of wind assistance was playing on their mind. Schofield now, he's going to swing the corner in with his left peg. Napier have good numbers in the box. Petone with a zonal defence. Schofield knocks it towards goal. Stapleton fumbles, and it's another fumble, and it's a bumble, and it's a fumble, and finally, is it finally? No, it's still not out. Schofield now, he'll drive it back across the far post, but that's going to drift harmlessly out of play. Shea Stapleton's certainly been to the boxing gym this week with all those punches he's been making.
You know, we're really pleased to see Napier just sticking with an in-swinging corner, not, with the assistance of the wind and being able to whip it into that near post and put the keeper under pressure. You see some teams they'll just take an out-swinger and completely take the pressure
that's
off.
right in the back, and that's Albertini again, and that's the first yellow card of the game. Number 5, Napier, Jack Albertini gets the first yellow card.
Yeah, I'm not sure you can have too many complaints about that one, given that he probably should have got a yellow card about 4 minutes ago. But, yeah, certainly I think Lamont fell awkwardly as well and took a bit of a elbow, perhaps to the
Just a point on the corners. We've seen 3 whipped in swinging corners from Napier. Do you think any of those would have been allowed at the World Cup? There would have been a foul on the keeper in there somewhere, yet Stapleton has to scramble and fight just to get a punch away, and the game goes on. I like that. Even though, I don't want Shea to go badly here, I like the fact that the keeper is not as a protected species as they have to be when they're playing internationals.
Yeah, well, the Germans probably have an opinion on that, don't they? But I tell you what, I was impressed the other day when somebody got a penalty. It wasn't Paraguay, was it? Where somebody got wrestled to the ground from a corner, and obvious foul. But it's not the sort of thing that wrestling at corners seems to have been allowed, and it's just horrendous what goes on at corners. So it's good to see the referee have some courage to actually give the foul. I think it was via VAR, mind you.
To be fair, a modern-day football corner seems more like a rugby line-out, I would akin it to. There's all sorts of skullduggery going on, isn't there?
Well, we saw a little bit of it in the New Zealand game against Belgium, didn't we? Where Tim Payne had his back to the ball and was more interested in wrestling the player, and the ball got played in behind him, and they scored.
Yeah, that was certainly how not to defend a corner. I just don't understand, and you see it quite a lot in football these days, where defenders are just not even looking at the ball. They're just, like you say, Russell, manhandling their player and thinking that's enough. Tonning sends it long. Papa Preston wins the ball well in the back for them. That's a superb touch by Hami, the Brazilian. Tokarov. He's had one good run today, but he's brought down this time by Schofield. Schofield scored a goal in the last time Napier won the Chatham Cup back in 2019. 3-2 winners over Melville United that day. Jack McNamara, who later moved on to Taradale, and Guto are the scorers on the day for Napier, sorry. Cook. Out to Stanley. Back to Cook. Nice little combination those two players have established. Napier just controlling the pace of the game at the moment. Stanley again does well to get away from Chandler, that is, and he forces another corner on the far side. He's shown good form, Ben Stanley, the man who scored 5 goals in the Central League and 5 goals in the Chatham Cup already. 6 now. I forgot today's goal.
He's certainly a handful, isn't he? He's a big lad and brings a physical presence.
Here's another one of those in-swinging rugby maul corners. And again, it's right on top of Stapleton. It's gone across the face. Where's the ball gone? There's appeals for everything here, but it's no LBW, and there's certainly no goal.
No
Let's play
VAR
on.
either.
And hey, it's the monkeys.
My first thought was they're appealing for handball, but I wonder if they're appealing for the ball over the line.
I think there's an appeal for the ball wasn't in straight.
Because the ball did seem to be on the deck at the time, didn't it?
Yeah.
So it couldn't have been a handball.
I think what happened, Russell, was a man on the post cleared it.
Which just goes to prove our point, really, doesn't it?
And that's a throw in for Petone in front of the Des Smith Realty substitute benches.
I feel like another benefit for having 2 on the post would be to give the keeper a clearer run at the ball and a few less bodies in the middle.
Lamont's gone down again. He's telepathically heard my call that he's got to get more physical. So since then he's won 3 free kicks and he's really put himself about. So great improvement from Harry Lamont there. Need to see a bit more of Lucas Jelly into the game though. Drayton plays the ball behind for Coleman. Coleman misread the run of it really. It's good thinking by Drayton. Not the worst free kick we've seen.
No, that was not far off being an excellent ball, was it?
They probably do need to try a few things sort of outside the square at times, don't they? If they're just going to play conventional sort of football and try and pass the way around and through the Napier defence, they're probably not going to get much change out of that all day, I wouldn't imagine.
Great skills by Cook there in midfield, managing to get away from the attentions of Harmy and Ollie. McCowan now, he's had a good start to the game too, as Daniel McCowan. Napier seem a sharper side than when we saw them in the Central League here, Phil.
Yeah, definitely. That was a pretty physical game, wasn't it?
But their style seems to have changed slightly. It's a bit more on the deck, it's a bit more fluid. And there's all shirt pullings and handbags there as well, but it's play on. And the Papa Preston sends it, but he's caught late, and the referee comes back for that. And the Napier bench erupt in disruption. Ashton Hurd put the late one in on Joshua Papa Preston.
There wasn't too much in it, but it was definitely a free kick, I thought. But, yeah, I'm not sure why the histrionics are required, you know.
The what, Phil?
Histrionics.
I love it. Get it in there. Straight out of the thesaurus. Eglinton towards Coleman. Coleman flicks it in towards Drayton, but the ball's just drifted out of play. No, it's he was just offside.
Can we ask you to spell it?
IT. So it's a throw in here again in front of the Des Smith Realty benches, and we're privileged to have Des, great sponsor of our club here at Petone, here live at the game today amongst the other 816 people that are here already today.
It's a bit down on the normal crowd. We're normally up around 900, Ollie, aren't we?
That ball rolls harmlessly down to Stapleton, and he's keen to get the ball moving for Petone. And although they're a goal down, they've certainly been in this match 100%. Willocks wins the ball well in midfield there, and Hurd gets it open towards Emerson. Emerson with some space now, and he can hit them from distance, but he's held up by Harmy, which is good work by the veteran. Or should I say, more experienced. Veteran sounds like he's come back from war. Drayton with a strike from way out, and he's caught late there, and the referee's gone to the pocket. And there's a second yellow card, and that's Luca Barclay, number 4.
Yellow card for Napier Rovers, number 4, Luca Barclay.
Again, I don't think Barclay did too much. His foot was raised, but Drayton came in with a swinging leg. That's always dangerous if you're doing that. And I'm not saying it was his own fault, but it's probably a yellow card, but I don't think there was any malice in the challenge.
It's one of those weird ones when I was refereeing, you know, the ball's bouncing into awkward height. Both players go for the ball. One of them gets it, one of them doesn't. The one that doesn't is deemed to be the villain, when in actual fact he's gone in there with no extra malice than the guy who's actually won the ball, but there's just appeals all over the place. And the way that the game's refereed these days, it's given away against the guy who's just arrived a second later. But he's gone in with no malice.
It's just absolutely split-second stuff, isn't it? I mean, you know, he was competing for the ball. He was a fraction of a second slower than the other guy, or further away, or whatever it was, and it looked bad, but I don't think it was as bad as it looked. Hopefully Nick Drayton's okay.
Petone have done better than they did in the Chatham Cup last year. They went out in the second round last year to eventual winners Olympic 3-0, whereas Napier got to this stage last year and coincidentally went out to the same side to the score of 3-2, where one of the guys on the bench today, Sam Lack, scored a goal for Napier, and I'm sure we'll see Sam later. Sam scored the winning goal versus Olympic last week at Park Island in the Central League clash. So he's got a goal-scoring pedigree, does the midfielder. I'm sure he'll get a run at some stage. Out to Coleman early with some space. Here's a chance for Petone to attack the line. Jigs inside Coleman, and ball's just taken off his toe, and we've got a corner.
Good sign, challenging the defence, trying to make something happen, and wins a corner.
Down at the Bob Scott Memorial Home Inn. I hope you visited your mum on the way to the game tonight, Russell.
Yeah, certainly did. She might be catching the replay later on, and in the B3 lounge. So, yep, shout out to her.
Captain Pickering with the corner. Looks like he's in swinging it. He has gone deep. Tonning's come for it. He hasn't got it though, and he's been thankful for Luca Barclay to win the header. And Coleman gets it for Petone on this near side. That's a good ball in towards Hahami. Coleman's getting forced away from the Napier goal though, and that's good defensive work. And a Papa Preston. Oh, he's got away with one there, has Joshua. He's got away with two, but not the third time. And now Hurd's got space. It's a 3-on-3 for Napier here. They play it out to Cook. The opportunity was probably missed there as Emerson now settles things down. Willocks.
I mean, credit to Petone a little bit there. They got back pretty quickly, didn't they? And snuffed that out.
The ball just didn't seem to sit right for a Papa Preston. It had a lot of spin on it. Just couldn't quite get it settled down to make a clean pass away.
Wouldn't have happened on natural grass, of course.
That's another whole debate, isn't it?
I always wonder about a side like Petone, who must train on Astro every week, multiple times a week. They play on Astro, and then you've got a side like Napier who will play and train on grass. And just that, how do they adapt from week to week?
Well, attacking-wise, they're adapting quite well at the moment as McCowan comes into the box, taking on Drayton, gets a strike. It's a skidder, and Stapleton at the second attempt just smothers it. Had a lot of spin on that ball, did Daniel McCowan's shot.
Yeah, decent effort. Probably wanted to hit that slightly further towards the far post.
Bit more aerial.
Yeah, and possibly a little bit more air in it.
Get that wind assistance that we don't have at the moment.
Far post, Bart. You've been reading my diary.
Lamont doing well against Barclay there. No foul so far, and Barclay's holding Lamont off. What can Petone win here? Barclay has to make a incisional ball, which is cut out, but Wilcox gives away the throw. Petone certainly battling well.
I was going to say reasonably good spell for Petone, despite a couple of quick breaks from Napier.
Into Pickering. Captain Drayton. Again, they put on this press Napier in that middle third. Petone have to go out. Eglinton knocks a good ball over towards Tokarov. Tokarov up against the diminutive Schofield. He can't get the ball back across the face of goal though, and it's a goal kick down at the Napier defensive end.
So with Coleman doing quite well down the left, I'm not sure if he's always wanting to cut in on his right, but I feel like Lamont could try and isolate himself with Schofield at the back post. And there's a severe height difference there. That could be an avenue Petone might want to explore.
That's a good tactic, Phil. I quite like that, as long as that the centre midfielder, which would be Jelly for Petone, can fill in that false 9 role while Lamont goes far post. Here we have Stanley again into the box, but he's offside this time, the big tall man.
I think we'll just relay that information down to the dressing room at half-time, shall we?
Like I said earlier, there was a corresponding match in the Central League. Was a 1-0 victory here for Napier over Petone. Callum Cook scoring the late goal that day in the 53rd minute. But it's not been a happy hunting ground for Napier here at Petone Memorial Park. Before that, they had a series of draws and narrow losses. So Petone do have it in their locker to be able to dig something out and get a result here.
Going back to my far post theory, I'm fairly sure, Russell, you'd have been lurking out at the far post if there was a diminutive left back on the other team.
Oh, that's good defensive work from Willocks, who got back and snuffed out Tokarov. He tried to let one fly with his left foot.
Yeah, certainly always had the intention of arriving at the far post, Barts. It's just not sure the timing was always correct. But
2024 in the Central League here at Memorial Park. Stefan Stuprik, our Swedish import, managed to score an 83rd minute winner against Napier, and it was an upset of the day. 2025, Petone had a 3-3 draw with 2 late goals, one from now Petone coach Sam Pickering in the 88th minute, and one from Ollie Pickering, now captain, in the 95th minute. So Petone have a history of late goals here.
what was he even doing there? That's what we asked.
What was he even doing there that day? I remember that vividly, Russell. It's
iconic piece of commentary.
Almost like, is it all over? It is now. Chandler comes inside, plays it well to Tokarov, and that's come off a Napier player. Pickering's chasing Schofield under there, but Schofield does well to just knock that into Harms, and Stapleton has to react, and referee's a bit slow on the whistle there, and that's another one of those ones where, you know, they let play go on a little bit and there's chance of injury. Stapleton may not have seen the flag there, and you know, one of those situations where he's gone to clear that ball and he gets injured. No substitute keeper on the bench for Petone today. Surprised me that Siegel wasn't named in the side in the first place, let alone not on the bench. Not sure who would go in goal if Stapleton got injured. Maybe Lamont. He's got the height for it.
Just on Lamont, just an observation. Is there still a FIFA regulation around wearing shin pads? Is that still compulsory?
I think they have to be the size of a matchbox, and I think they just make it. I have actually checked out Lamont's legs. Oh, well, shin pads. Let's rephrase that. I have checked out Lamont's shin pads. They do seem to fit into the minimum bracket. I'll tell you what, if he was up against a player like Jack De Bruin or Jeff Strom, he would certainly want to be wearing bigger shin pads than what he's wearing today.
Yeah, I hear the modern excuse for small shin pads is it gets in the way of my control. But I'm fairly sure you're not supposed to control the ball with your shin. Maybe it's a new technique I'm not aware of.
I didn't see that one in the coaching books, but I haven't read all the coaching books. Hurd now gets into Schofield, tries to find Stanley at the middle of the park. A pup of Preston. He's going to get caught in possession here, and he has. Play on, says the referee. There's a bit of a clashes of legs there, and you can see the wind now even at ground level. Jelly tries to break into space, and the wind kind of blew away from him while it was on the ground. Jelly with a little bit of Brazilian Ronaldinho flair there.
I think we saw that at that last Petone corner where Tonning kind of came for the ball, but I think the wind did him in.
Yeah,
the flight of the ball, and it's just looks like
didn't arrive, did it? The ball just didn't arrive.
I think it's just going to be a factor that's only going to increase in the second
We now have McCowan putting Eglinton under pressure, and that's a bit of an awkward one for him, and Stanley tries it. Scored a spectacular Marco Van Basten styled volley goal last week, but that was at the other end of the spectrum.
Still rising as it left the stadium.
I think the Bull Boys will be over the stop bank to get that one back at half time. The man who played his junior football at Nelson Suburbs, Ben Stanley, he's certainly looking lively up front, and he's obviously prepared to have a crack. One goal of the week in 2023, playing for the Dunedin City Royals, so he's obviously a mainlander as of such, because he arrived from the UK in 2007.
He's certainly a handful, isn't he? He's reasonably quick too, by the looks of it. I was waiting for your shout about the scaffold direct to get the ball back.
Yeah. Just approaching towards 40 minutes here. Napier City Rovers 1-0 up. Goal from Ben Stanley in the 15th minute. The only difference between the sides. It's been quite an open game. A couple of yellow cards going in the way of Napier City Rovers as they compete to boss the centre of midfield. It's pretty even Stevens though, even at this point.
Is it too early to say that it's important that Petone hang on to just the 1 goal deficit through to half time?
Is it a 2-goal win?
I think we'll find out.
Pickering puts the charge down and goes up against Hoyle. And Hoyle plays it off Pickering to win the throw, but Stanley keeps it in. Back to Chandler. Chandler all the way home now to Stapleton. He comes out to a Papa Preston. Delivers early to Drayton. Papa Preston looks to switch it well towards the wing of Tokarov, but it just hung up in the wind there. Pickering now with the charge through the middle of the park, and he looks for Coleman.
Coleman did well to make something of that. It was a bit short, wasn't it? And he put good pressure on the Napier back four.
The person for me that seems to be holding this Napier side here is Ross Willocks, getting through a power of work there, the 27-year-old. Come back to Napier after spending some spells in Scotland and Spain. When I read that in his bio, I wasn't sure if that was playing football or just holidaying. But anyway, he's back here as Hurd now attacks for Papa Preston. Cuts inside him. But Papa Preston gets him back on the second nibble, but Drayton has to concede the corner. And again, we'll see the in-swinging corner probably delivered by Schofield.
And they want to avoid giving away corners, don't they? Especially, as Russell was just saying, so they can hold out to half-time.
Liam Schofield's made over 150 appearances for Napier City Rovers, the 32-year-old. He's certainly one of the members, as you would describe, as a heart of the club, a heart of the first team, a heart of their success. And he plays with his heart on his sleeve, does the young fella at 32. Here he is now, on the ball for the corner. Oh, this is a bit of a loopier one towards the far post, and Stapled again has to give it the Muhammad Ali punch. And Lamont gives it the hoof out the park.
I actually feel that one was a foul on the keeper. Hoyle came in at the back post there while Stapleton was in the act of punching the ball out and caught him.
As the TBI physio makes her second appearance of the day, striding in to give Shay Stapleton a bit of the magic water.
I think it's a fair point, Bart. I mean, they're inside the 6-yard box, aren't they? So the keeper probably deserves more protection in that area than outside of it. And if you make contact with the keeper in the air, you know, most referees around the world are going to call that as an offensive foul, aren't they? But he's been impressive, Stapleton, hasn't he? I mean, that's, you know, to get that amount of glove on the ball on that occasion and direct it well away from goal, and he's done that on numerous occasions.
Yeah, 6 offensive corners from Napier City Rovers, all been in swinging, all on top of the keeper. Playing today without a cap. I know that's one of your bugbears, Russell. You think that goalkeeper should have a cap when they're playing in the sun. I'll mention it to Shay at half-time. But he's done superbly well with his fisting. Long throw from Napier. Into the top of the box. Willocks with the attempted flick on, and there's Stanley, and that's fallen loose. And Jelly's awkwardly tried to control that, and they've gone down. That Stanley's gone down looking for a penalty. I think he's going to get an Academy Award, but no penalty as Coleman now breaks. He's surrounded by a posse of Napier players, and that's a cheap foul given away by Willocks.
Coleman,
Sorry, Phil.
Coleman's another one with the miniature regulation shin pads, but he's been quite impressive for me. He doesn't lack confidence, does he? He was surrounded then by 3 Napier players, and he was more than happy to take them on, and he did win the free kick. So,
just a little catch up between the referee and the 4th official there. Just want to have a little chat with Ross Willocks and just say maybe that was a little bit cynical, and just to watch yourself. I don't think Willocks meant anything in the challenge. He's a competitor as Ross Willocks, and Jelly now is outnumbered 3-1, and he's jumped out with a little brilliant piece of Ronaldinho skill, and he's holding Willocks off twice, 3 times, 4 times. And that's Lucas Jelly's best player of the day, as Coleman gets it across, tries to drive it across, and wins the corner. Sensational skill from Lucas Jelly, unorthodox, but a sight to the eye.
it's warmed up those on the balcony. Got quite vocal after that little piece of play. It was excellent from Jelly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We've kind of been waiting for that, haven't you? You did say earlier we need to see more of him.
Yeah. Captain Pickering with the corner. Goes middle of the goal kind of area. Lamont up with the challenge. It's Stanley that hooks it away. Lamont retrieves the ball on the far sideline. Can he win another corner for Petone? He does. Well played, Harry Lamont. Got something out of nothing there, and that's all we can expect from our players, to give their all.
Going back to Russell's earlier comment, this could be a chance for Petone to nick one just before half-time.
But here we go. The wind is going down that side of the pitch, and we're going to hit an out-swinging corner. This is going to drift out to the top of the box. Although Coleman is out there, Pickering will have to deliver this superbly to get something out. It's gone very deep. And Harmy hooks it back across towards Drayton. Drayton with a chance. It comes out to Coleman, who hits a strike. Oh, it's just wide of the left-hand upright. Superb strike from Xavier Coleman. Well competed for by Harmy. He kept that ball alive. And as it dropped down to the edge of the box, Coleman had no hesitation in driving it, and unluckily just wide of the left-hand upright.
You do feel like Petone are still well in this game, aren't they? You know, it appears to be Napier that are getting frustrated with the referee a little bit and with the opposition, and they're 1-0 up. So if Petone can just keep their heads, just keep in the battle, keep scrapping. It looks like one of the Napier guys could do something silly at some point. You don't wish it on anyone, but it could happen. And 45 minutes all to play for.
We're in additional time now, of which there'll be 3 minutes. Handball! Referee saw that one, and surely Cam Emerson cannot be disputing that. That was a Luke Jacobson charge down, if ever I'd seen one. And on that, we wish the All Blacks well today, and Dave Rennie's first match as All Black captain, the man from Upper Hutt, my birthplace. We hope the whole of Upper Hutt will be hoping he goes well with his new shaped side. Back to the game we actually call football. And Lamont with a little flick on towards Coleman, and they've kind of put a bit of pressure on Napier City Rovers this last 5 minutes as we head towards the end of the half. And it'll be interesting to see if Petone could actually nick one right on the break. And Jelly goes down. The referee's not wearing that one though.
I feel a bit for Jelly there, like he's just going to control the ball and he's got thumped in the back by the defender. And it looked awkward when he went down, but which is probably why the ref didn't give it, but certainly was a foul.
Jelly now on the ball. Coleman's got in there well, and there's a shin pad gone flying. We've got an injured shin pad. And Coleman's down, and he'll be wanting that missing shin pad, I would think, as he was racked across the bone. Maybe if he had bigger shin pads, Russell, that wouldn't have happened. Just saying.
You might need a search party to find the shin pad because it's not particularly big.
But we've been in this place before, earlier in the half, Ollie Pickering with the free kick, didn't beat the first man. We want to get this. Where do we want this? Boys, where do we want this ball?
He's a bit further out, so to be fair, I don't think a direct shot's on in this. I'd just be putting it somewhere between the penalty spot and the 6-yard box. Yeah, with a bit of pace towards the back post.
Do you think a left footer would be better for this one?
I'd probably prefer it. Well,
Coleman making a dummy run. Pickering drives towards the far post. But Napier's cleared that out, and it's come out to Cook. And if he can deliver this now, there's a 2-on-2, 3-on-3, it's a 5-on-5. It's gone back to 11v11. And Eglinton sends it long, and Tonning was a bit hesitant there, and Tokarov showed a little bit of interest.
I think Ollie's delivery there was just a bit too floated, wasn't it? You know, the wind influence. Very hard for a striker to get up over a defender in that situation.
We have talked about that, haven't we, Phil? About the floated deliveries these days.
Yeah. Can't get any power in the header, really.
Yeah, it wasn't the worst delivery, but probably, as you say, it was a little too floated and made it hard for the strikers to get any purchase on it.
You would know as a centre forward, Russell, you want it to come with some pace, so you just have to redirect it, don't you? And there we have it at half-time in this Deliver Easy Chatham Cup 4th round clash between Central League table toppers Napier. 1-0 to Napier currently against Des Smith Realty Petone. It's been a pretty even contest here at Petone Memorial Park, and Petone certainly by no means are out of this contest. Coach Pickering will get them into the dressing room, maybe make a couple of adjustments, give them a bit of a morale boost. They'll have the wind behind them in the second half, so that could be an advantage. Napier know they're not out of this, and we look forward to what should be an exciting second half. Your summary of the half, Phil?
Yeah, pretty even, wasn't it, really? Especially, I would say Petone came well back into it in the last 10 minutes, maybe 15, and probably unlucky not to have created a clear chance. Napier are, as Napier always have, very strong and have looked dangerous on the break too. So, yeah, all in all, it's building up for a very interesting second half.
Your thoughts on that, Russell? Not too dissimilar?
No, I concur with everything that's been said before me. No, look, I think, you know, from here, I think Petone, they've just got to keep scrapping. They've got to keep their heads. They've got to stay in the battle, but stay out of the silliness. And in terms of they've got to get the ball on the deck, they can't put the ball over the top with the wind. It's just going to run away from them. They've got to play diagonal balls. They've got to get it on the ground, try and get them behind the back four and turn them around. And yeah, why not? Again, why not? They're well in this game. They get one, and it's game on from there.
Yeah, so we're all in agreement there that Petone is certainly in this match still here at Petone Memorial Park. There's only a 1-goal deficit, and I'd like to see them come out in the second half and have a real go at it. So we look forward to you joining us again in 15 minutes' time. Go grab a cup of tea, make a toasted sandwich. We'll see you back here in 10. Welcome back to Petone Memorial Park for this round 4 Chatham Cup, Delivery Chatham Cup clash. Just a couple of things that have come to our attention over the half-time break. In Central League 1 today, the Wellington Phoenix Reserve Academy came away with a 1-1 draw against FC Western from New Plymouth. FC Western, we wrapped with that result in the last 5 or 6 weeks. They have managed to score some points and score some goals, which looked like it was going to be a disastrous season for them at the start. So well played to FC Western, most improved team in the Central League over the last month or two. In the Chatham Cup, most of the games are still scoreless that are around the country, but Nelson Suburbs 2-0 up against Northern. Nelson Suburbs going well down there with Johnny Reynolds scoring a few goals, a former Olympic player. And of course Northern was one of the teams that Petone beat in the Chatham Cup final in 1939, so a bit of similarity there. Other Chatham Cup games around the ground that have kicked off but with no scores. Auckland United are still 0-0 against Cambridge United, and Auckland City, the big guns, 0-0 against the North Shore side of Takapuna. Here in Wellington, kicking off in about half an hour's time, Island Bay will be taking on Miramar. And just in the World Cup, just an update there, Colombia 1-0 up against Ghana. Colombia, many picking to be the dark horse of the tournament. Substitution here for Napier. Caleb Hunt is coming on in replace of Albertini. So I'm not sure if that's a straight swap, but we'll see how that pans out as the game unfolds. As we get the second half underway, Petone will be looking to make an early impression into Napier. Get into the game as soon as we can. And Hoyle with a cushion headed down to Schofield. Under pressure from Lamont, has to send it high. Eglinton on his off foot manages to get a half clearance in. And McCowan now has some space on that far side, but that's snuffed out by the retreating Xavier Coleman, doing good defensive work there. Petone and Napier do have quite a history with each other, almost like a sister club in many aspects, but a number of players have played for both sides. No more famous than Mark Rowe, one of the most talented players he ever played in the blue shirt of Petone. He did a couple of seasons up in Napier. Name that's synonymous with Petone Football Club, the Pickerings. Les Pickering's young son Andy went up to play at Napier and played in the Chatham Cup final. The Chatham Cup final that ended in defeat to the Phil Keasley funded Wairarapa United. But also of more recent time, Luca Barclay, who's in the side today for Napier, as said earlier, played for Petone in 2024. Sam Wall also came from Napier to play for Petone for a period, and Sam Pickering, the Petone coach, spent a season playing at Napier City Rovers in the National League and also for Team Hawke's Bay. So a couple of little synonyms there. We love to acknowledge people from the past who have played for clubs. A shout out to our good friend Steve O'Donoghue, huge Napier City player, living over in Perth now as Stanley comes forward again. It's quite a menace as Ben Stanley. McCowan now plays the ball out to the substitute Caleb Hunt, but he doesn't get his first touch yet unless it's going to be from the throw-in, and it is. No.
I wonder if the substitution of Albertini might have had anything to do with the yellow card he picked up in the first half.
Quite possibly. That could be good coaching from Chris Greatholder and Bill Robertson, seeing that Petone are probably going to come at them this half. Long throw towards the box. There's a push in the back of Lamont from Hoyle, but nothing given. And it comes out to Cook. There's a bit of a communication breakdown there on the far side by the Napier boys, but they managed to retain possession. All the way back to Hoyle. He's a bit like a Ben Mata type of player, who's You just wouldn't want to clash with him. Schofield knocks it behind Chandler. Chandler gets a touch, but Barclay's up there. What's he doing up there? And it's fallen to Hurd, and Hurd scores! Luca Barclay had stayed hanging around up front. What's the centre-back doing up there? We'll never know, but what he's done is he's created an assist for Ashton Hurd, and Napier have gone 2-0 up early in the second half. Phil?
Again, that was a little too easy, wasn't it? A bouncing ball just on the edge of the box there, and probably not positive enough defending from the Petone defenders were there, and managed to get across, and it was pretty much a tap-in at the far post under a little bit of pressure, but again, it all seemed a little slow motion, a little bit too easy.
I couldn't see the danger when Schofield knocked the ball forward, but the ball kind of hung. Chandler couldn't get a touch on it, and suddenly Barclay, of all players, was playing at left wing and managed to strike a good cross at the face of the goal, as we want players to do. 2-0. Russell?
Yeah, desire is the word that comes to mind there. The run down the left there, he just wanted it more, and then to knock it across. And again, the guy coming in at the far post, he was just in front of the defender, and he just wanted it. You've just got to get goal side in that position. That's a bit of a body blow for Petone. They've now got to reset, and they've just got to hang in there now for the next sort of 10 minutes and make sure that they consolidate and then work their way back into the match. But yeah, not a great start in the second half.
Well, they need to score next, and I know that's an old football cliche, but actual fact is they do. They need to get in the game, roll their short sleeves up, and just get stuck in, chance their arm a little bit, and be the next team to score. And if they are the next team to score, then they're back in it.
Yeah, it was a real body blow for them, wasn't it? The last thing they would have wanted would be a slow start, and that's exactly what they got, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's a coach killer. And here's the goal scorer now on the ball, Hurd. And he's battling well with Eglinton, and he's won the free kick, which is could have gone either way, that one, I guess. Referee just having a word with Eglinton. So Petone have suffered from a lack of goals this year. In their last 5 games, they've won 2, drawn 1, lost 3, with a goal differential of 6 goals scored and 12 against. So, it's been tough for them in that aspect. Whereas Napier, on the other hand, have won 3, drawn 1, lost 1 in their last 5, scoring 17 goals in the process. So they've got goals about them, do Napier. Top scorer Callum Cook with 7 in the league. Ben Stanley's got 5 in the league and now 6 in the cup, so they've got 2 good goal scorers out there.
Yeah, definitely, Ollie. I think it's something Petone probably need to find from somewhere, is some additional goal scoring threat. Play a lot of nice football midfield, but end product they just don't have enough threat, do they?
The difference there in goal scorers is Ashton Lake and Harry Lamont are both the leading goal scorers for Petone this season with 3. I mean, for Harry Lamont, it's been a tough season up front in his first year at Petone as a centre forward. Ashton Lake, he's more of a wide player, very dynamic guy, but he's not on the bench today, so it's not like they can put him off the bench to score. Scored 2 spectacular goals this season, but not available today. Struggling with a bit of a foot injury is Ashton, so he's got the week off, as Pickering Sam, that is, probably keeping an eye on the league and building for next season. Schofield's got a great football brain on him, this little young guy, young at 32, like I said before. He just knows when to give it and when not. That's a great ball from Cook, and Cook plays it, attempted through from Emerson. Emerson, well tracked by Lucas Jelly, and that's the kind of spirit we want to see as he plays the ball early to Coleman, and Coleman's got a chance to run at Barclay. He's got to get the ball under though. He's played it through for Lamont, but Jim Hoyle's positionally read that well.
Thanks for the messages that have been sent through and the comments on YouTube. Really appreciate it. Shout out to Will and the Carrick Place posse up there in Mount Eden tuning into the game. Great to have you with us.
And also Petone Club Chairman Margie Bliss watching the game live today, recovering from a hip operation. Love you, Margie, and can't wait to see you next to Miss Glamorous Whitecliff Smith on the sponsors bench soon. Hoyle, Schofield plays the ball early, but it's going to run out of play.
Might have put the commentator's curse on Schofield there, Ollie, singing his praises a minute or so ago.
That was some time ago, Phil. Down the line it goes. Harmy flicks it on. Schofield wins it in the air. The smallest guy on the pitch wins a header. How does that happen? And he's won the ball back again. Got a great work rate for a left back.
This time last year, this Napier side, Jim Hall's brother Stephen was in the side, wasn't he? And he's now in Australia.
Yeah, coaching Central Coast, I think.
Newcastle. Sorry, nobody likes to correct her, but I'm pretty sure.
Oh, great fist out by Stapleton again. Superb cross in from the new man, Hunt.
Stapleton has used his fists a lot today, hasn't he?
It's probably a good option with the blustery conditions we've got here at Petone.
I was just wondering how Steve Hoyle went in his first A-League season.
Chance for Barclay, and he's lobbed Stapleton, and he scores! Luca Barclay against his old club. What is this tactic that Napier have come up with? The floating centre-back who's made an assist for the second goal and now scored the third, and is that game over for Tony?
Yeah, I fear it might be. Again, that was just a simple ball over the top, wasn't it? Again, I'm not sure what Barclay was doing there. And equally, I don't think Petone realised he was there. Because he wasn't under much of a challenge, but he skillfully lobbed the ball over Stapleton as he came out, and it was a tidy finish.
Yeah, superb, well-taken goal actually from Luca. And we won't take anything away from that, but he did seem to ghost in completely unopposed. It was almost like everyone was waiting for the flag to go up, but I don't know if Bill Robertson's come up with the floating centre-back striker, but it's certainly paying dividends here today for Petone Memorial Park for the team in red. And Hurd now. Jelly's done well to cover that, but surprised he also didn't give away a free kick as we see action on the Petone substitutes bench now.
I'm just wondering, Ollie, perhaps it's a new variation on the false 9.
What, are we going to call it the false 6?
Yeah, Sam Pickering's seen enough. There's definitely movement on the bench. It looks like we've got a couple of replacement.
Well, the disappointing thing is that up until half-time, they were right in the match. You know, they just had to come out pretty much with the same structure, play the same way, and just be patient. But within 10 minutes of the second half starting, they're now down 3, where they were down 1. And here's Barclay, the marauding centre-back again, as the tornado rips through the commentary box here. The win that there was very little of at the start of the game seems to have come back with a vengeance.
You can just imagine Sam Pickering's message at half-time probably would have been based around keep it tight for the first 10 minutes of the second half, and unfortunately it's been anything but.
Do you think they listened, Russell?
Well, I'm sure they listened, but they just haven't come out with the same intensity as Napier have, which is a real shame. And I suppose that, you know, the really disappointing thing was that they had that intensity at the end of the first half, and they've just come out virtually half asleep, and Napier have taken full advantage of it.
Petone looking to make some substitutions, probably after this free kick from Napier. Looks like Alex Davis is coming on, and Parada French, or was it Leo Gunn? They play it short to McCowan, who tries one, but that was speculative, and that sailed over harmlessly. And now the substitutions will be made, and it's Leo Gunn and Alex Davis that will come in to try and change the game now for Petone, as Tokarov takes his absence, as does Apapa Preston. Josh Apapa Preston may be at fault for the second goal. He was playing centre back, then Barclay's come through that zone. Anyway, Alex Davis has come on the field, the former Olympic player, and he's got some pace, so he'll be testing Schofield, and there's a chance for his first involvement. But that's a hell of a ball to try and receive on the first play that you've come onto the park.
Not wanting to be too critical, but the new centre-back pairing, possibly hasn't worked out for Petone based on the goals that we've seen. I don't think they've had a bad game, but perhaps as a combination, a little bit of understanding or communication breaking down, perhaps.
I hear what you're saying there, Phil, because in my belief, the centre-back combination is one of the most crucial partnerships that you need on a football pitch. You talk about striker combinations in midfield, but really at the heart of all of it, if you have got a changing centre-back partnership, it's hard to get the understanding of when to mark, when to go, when to close space. And this is the first time that I recall a Papa Preston and Eglinton as a centre-back partnership. In fact, I don't remember a Papa Preston ever playing centre-back. So I know that the theory behind Sam Pickering is he doesn't like Harmy playing centre-back because he feels he loses something in the field. So he's experimented there. And he's a young coach with a young side, and you've got to put these things out for experience and experiment and see what comes of it.
A tough examination against a very good Napier side, league-leading Napier side, who will take advantage of any weakness.
Jelly, that's a good ball, but they just need a little bit more on it. And I also wouldn't have minded Jelly trying to strike from there, as now Stanley onside according to the linesman, and he's 1-on-2. He's got Chandler for company, who's come central, has played to the top of the box, and Cook's come into the game, and he's not able to find Stanley, and Stanley gets cleared away by Davis.
I think Cook there was a bit disappointed with his own touch there, wasn't he? He was running onto that ball nicely on the edge of the box.
He was looking to strike, I think, and now Coleman, he's got legs to run. He's pulled across to Lamont. Lamont can't get a touch on the box though, and it comes out to Drayton. Drayton can't do any of his heroics from last week against the Wellington Phoenix reserves. Not on that occasion anyway, and Jelly's pulled to the get round and an exchange of shirts early in the match. As Gunn gets the game going, and it goes out to Coleman again. What can Coleman come up with? He tries to get the ball across. Lamont tries to flick it off to Ollie Pickering. Ollie Pickering with a chance. Sharp chance from Ollie Pickering, but it's snapped by William Tonning, the guy who's spent the last 2 years playing in goal in Iceland and Sweden.
Yeah, going back to your point about Harmy and Sam Pickering not preferring him in midfield, I think just from my point of view, really soaring up your defence and making it consistent and starting from there is always sort of your building platform for me. And he's so strong at centre back, and what he does give you at centre back is that range of diagonal passing that he's got. So yeah, I'm not sure I'm 100% with Sam Pickering on that one.
The thing is, we are starting a scientific experiment here in the summer, and we're looking to clone Harmy, so we can have him at centre back and at centre midfield. We'll just let you know how that goes. Just a message from the text machine that's come in. Luca Barclay should never have left Petone. Petone's probably feeling the same way at this moment, so thank you to that texter. We appreciate all feedback.
For stating the obvious.
McCowan now, he's got some space to run. He plays at the top of the box to Cook, who lays it off first time, and Stanley with a curler. Oh, what a fantastic save! Shea Stapleton, it wouldn't have counted, but that has got to be save of the day. Not just here in New Zealand, but in the World Cup as well. You'd have been happy to have seen that. Full stretch, the man in green. Brilliant save.
Was definitely heading for the top corner. Great athleticism from the veteran. But they just always seem to have a man over at the moment, Napier. They're flooding forward from midfield and they're stretching Petone, and he was completely unmarked at the far post there. Thankfully, the flag went up.
Here they go again, Napier. Clean through. Cook holds the ball up, plays it short to Stanley, and Leo Gunn will get rid of that. With a bit of uncomfortableness, though. Petone really got the bit between the Napier got the bit between the teeth now, Phil.
Yeah, they certainly have. Petone will do well to fight off this surge from Napier and try and get a bit of control back in the game. Has Jelly got a problem here?
He's gone past the 60-minute mark today, which is I don't recall him going past that mark too often. He's struggling with a hip dysplasia injury, but he's so far hanging in there today.
I think I've said before, one thing I like about Jelly, when he's on the ball, he's always looking to make a forward pass. Really, really good to see.
Eglinton, can he shift it early? Plays it through the middle of the park. That's come off Napier player, and Petone will have an attacking corner with the wind assist at the end. Can they do the same quality of delivery that we saw from the first half from Napier? We were certainly hoping so.
I was about to say exactly that. Let's see if they can put Tony under as much pressure as Stapleton was in the first half.
Ollie Pickering with the corner though, with the right foot. This will swing out. He's hit it pretty well though towards the far post. Harmy's got up well to it, and it was Blake Chandler trying to help it on, but it's just gone out for goal kick harmlessly.
So my guessing here, Petone don't have a left-footed corner taker. Is that why it's an outswinger?
Just looking across the park, I think they're all naturally right footers. Good observation there, Phil. Not just a tech expert, but also a bit of a tactician. And Parada French cleans that up to Chandler. Oh, that's a high loopy one. That's almost like a Damien McKenzie in the Super Rugby final where it's going to come back on top of you. And Cook holds off Harmy, plays it out to McCowan. McCowan one-on-one with Drayton. He'll cut inside and want to strike when he does. And again, the super fists of Shea Stapleton clear the danger. Napier fire it low into the box, and that's going to be hacked up in the air by Chandler. Drayton saves the corner. That's the best he could do there, and he tumbles over with McCowan. That's good work from Daniel McCowan, showing a lot of strength, because I'll tell you now, Nick Drayton is no pushover. Barclay, the goal scorer and assistant. What a game he's had. He's got 3 or 4 votes for player of the day so far as we approach the 65th minute mark. Schofield tries again to get it behind the Petone defence, and Stanley does well to win the ball. Plays it across the top of the box. It's come down. There's a chance, but there's a bit of a
dissension in the up here in
the balcony. I thought it was
balcony,
I thought it was positive feedback. Maybe I misheard it. Chandler.
Again, I'll just go back to that attack by Napier. Petone were just muscled off it, weren't they?
I thought Petone did a great job competing physically in that first 45 minutes, but they have fallen a bit off the pace, and I think it's just a greater experience too, I think, in the Napier team.
Yeah, you wouldn't have thought that Napier making a change at right back at half-time would have such a difference in the game. But, Bill Robertson, he's an astute character. He played his junior football at Liverpool FC. So he's seen something that we haven't. As Hurd keeps that one alive. Good turn by Jelly, and he looks to play out to good friend Coleman on the far side. But that's well read by the substitute, Hunt. Oh, that's well won by Nick Drayton, and he likes to have a dig from distance. But he instead tries to find Davis. And with the wind assistance, I get frustrated with that. Into Davis. He goes down under the challenge. Parada French cuts inside. And they win a corner. Petone.
It's better from Petone, wasn't it? At least aggressive.
If it's going to happen, it needs to happen now. They need to give themselves some time frame to get back in the match. It's all about the quality of the delivery here. But look at that back line of Napier. There's a whole red forest there. Pickering. It's not a bad delivery. It's towards Lamont. Lamont gets a touch. It's almost a similar one to what happened before. As Pickering tries one and it's hit the side net. Alex Davies, sorry, not Pickering. Good swivel turn.
Tonning got a bit stuck in no man's land there, didn't he? He came out and he didn't get it, and a bit lucky to get away with that, maybe.
And Luke Grinley. Roll back the clock. Luke Grinley comes on in the place of Harry Lamont in the centre forward position. Lamont's not had a bad game. He's battled hard, but he's certainly learned how to be a bustling centre forward. Luke Grinley will give Petone that now. Obviously lacking a little bit of pace from his heyday years, but he'll give you everything. And given an opportunity, here he is on the ball now, Grinley. Coleman, he goes on a mazy run, finds Grinley again. Grinley, what can he manoeuvre for Petone out of this one? He's looking for support, it's limited, but he earns a corner, and that's not bad play by Luke Grinley.
Look, it's my first look at Xavier Coleman today, and he's been impressive. You know, he hasn't seen a lot of the ball second half, but every time he gets the ball, he looks to try and make things happen, and he's got a bit about him. He's quick, he's got good quick feet. He'll test defences throughout the season, I would imagine.
Pickering with the in-swinger, right into the heart, towards Grinley, but again it's flapped away by Tonning. Yeah, Luke, who are we talking about? Xavier Coleman, Napier Under-19 Player of the Year 2024. So, yeah, he's certainly got some quality about him, and he is direct, just getting the ball on the deck. Phil?
Yeah, definitely like him. As Russell said, you know, nice quick feet and very positive, always looks to take players on. And go back to Harry Lamont as well. I thought after he somehow heard your comments from the balcony, Ollie, about having to muscle up a bit, I think he did.
Yeah,
I think he put himself about. Tough back four he was playing against today, and that, you know, it's a good learning for him.
Absolutely. Well said, mate. Hurd, scorer of the first goal, towards Emerson, the drive of the side. Him and Cook have really driven this Napier side forward. The substitution hunt now on the ball, as we look as though maybe we need the lights on shortly at Petone Memorial Park. McCowan, he's been impressive too, and he's come and played at top of the box to Cook. He's let it go to Hurd with a strike, and Hurd puts it over the crossbar. The front three of Napier combining very, very well. Dinking out little movements, little fake movements, getting opportunities to get strikes in. Callum Cook looks like he wants to get on the score sheet today. We'll be surprised if he doesn't get a strike later in the game. He's pushing further and further forward as they've got some room to move scoreboard wise.
Just see Lucas Jelly motioning to the bench there, Ol. It looks like his day might be done. He's struggling a bit, looks like he might be cramping up. We've all been there.
Well played by Grinley. Jelly again in the war. He wins a free kick, and he's starting to limp a little bit heavier than he has done previously, but having said that, he's played 11 minutes extra than what he normally does, so obviously he's progressing with that injury. Parada French plays it back to Chandler. There's not a lot in that, and Willocks picks the ball up in midfield and gets it wide to Cook. Cook, with his experience of Bradford City and Middlesbrough, comes into the box, comes to the top of the box. He's looking for support. He's finger pointing like Johan Cruyff. Schofield plays it early back to Cook. Now just tidying things up and settling things down again, Napier. Using every single blade of that artificial pitch. On the best sponsor in the world, just turned up with some commentator snacks. Des Smith Realty. If you're looking to buy or sell your home, get onto Ray White, Des Smith Real Estate. Hoyle out to Schofield. Schofield to Cook. Cook's had an outstanding game today. He's really run the middle of the park.
Yeah, and as you mentioned before, he looks like he's got his conditioning now, and it's just adding to his ability to control the game.
Petone forced the corner. Xavier Coleman, again, the man we were just talking about, trying to be direct. So Petone, they need to chance their arm then. They're leaving a one-on-one in the back with Eglinton, with Hurd. So they're obviously expecting something to come from this corner. Grinley's kind of floating around the back. It's gone towards Grinley. Grinley can't get it. Harmy gets it back across the face of the goal and only just over the top of the crossbar at the far post.
Excellent leap from Harmy there, wasn't it? As they say, rose like a salmon at the far post and looped his header back towards that near post, and it was very close.
I thought it was Michael Jordan-esque, but you can go with salmon. It's an offside call there.
New
against,
nickname?
Ben Stanley.
New nickname for Air Harmy.
Yeah. Nike, get on board, mate. As Napier look to make a substitution now. Looks like Andrew is coming on in replace of the goal-scoring assist hero, Luca Barclay.
Substitution for Napier. Number 2, G. Andrew, replacing ex-Petone player and killer of us today. Number 4, Luca Barclay.
Good ball over the top for Davis, but Tolling comes out and retrieves that. 15 minutes to go of normal time now. As we've spoken about earlier, Petone are renowned for scoring late goals against Napier, but if they're going to do that, they need to do it shortly. Emerson out to Stanley. Stanley takes on Parada French. Parada French with the front foot tackle, knocks it out for the throw. And here we see the removal of Lucas Jelly. He's battled well for his 75 minutes today, and it's good to see he's getting extra Ks in those legs.
Substitution for Petone. Lucas Jelly, Blake Chandler, replaced by Leo Gunn and Cam Healy.
So straight switch there for Petone for Chandler and Healy, I would think. Cam Healy also only came back from injury last week, so he's going to get a 15-minute, 20-minute run out to just build up his physicality, confidence, footballing awareness again. If you've been out the game for a while, it does take a little bit of adjustment to get back into it, especially at Central League level, which is a high quality. Cam Emerson still instructing Napier to give more. It's a 3-0 lead here. If you've just joined us, Des Smith, Reality Petone 0, Napier City Rovers 3. Napier City Rovers proudly sponsored by Thirsty Whale, one of the best entertainment and drinking establishments in the Hawke's Bay. I can vouch for that firsthand. As Hurd looks to take on Gunn and Parada French. I've had them muddled up all day. I'm sorry about that. Hurd again. There's a great switch ball from Eglinton towards Coleman, and he comes and takes it well. Plays it into Drayton. Drayton turns inside. Plays it into the substitute. And he tries to have a dig, and he's caught late. But the referee feels that there's nothing in that, and it's just a goal kick.
Good to see Cam Healy get a run. Another one of the Onslow College, off the conveyor belt of Onslow College sporting stars. You think back to Jeremy Coney, Gavin Larson, Phil Barton, Noah Billingsley, and the Turner brothers, all out of Onslow College.
What was the second to last name on that list, Russell?
Noah Billingsley.
And Spencer Cameron, did he not, was he Onslow College? He's had a breakout year at Miramar Rangers, just as a shout out for someone from an opposing club.
I'd be pretty confident Spence went to Wellington College, but Wadestown boy.
Davis taken down by Schofield, nothing given there again. Petone seemed to have got quite a few of those 50-50s in the first half. They've got none of them in the second half. Davis again manhandled round the neck by Willocks, who's been a machine in the midfield, and Emerson, the drive. And now he's gone over in the maul, and he's gone for an Oscar there. And it's all just got a little bit scrappy there here in front of the Des White Realty substitute benches.
Yeah, you just felt like the bit of intensity went out of the game at 3-0. Not unexpected. Certainly compared to how combative it was in the first half, but Napier players staying down there. I don't think there was too much in it.
We were right by that. I didn't remember seeing his head get touched. I saw his knee get kicked, his ankle got stood on, but he seemed to be, the agony was in his head. Good player, Cam Emerson, really drives the team well from the heart of the Napier midfield, and he'll be up and about after a bit of a swig of magic water and some magic balm.
All I can think of was maybe it was just a accidental sort of flying boot that might have just clipped him. He's certainly, the magic water's going on the head, so he's at least trying to convince us that he did take a knock.
10 minutes to go here at Petone Memorial Park. Des Smith Railway Realty Petone 0, Napier City Rovers 3. It looks like they'll be going into the quarter-final draw on Tuesday. But it's the cup. Anything can happen.
I think from my point of view, it'd be nice to see Petone get one. I think
they deserve a goal.
Yeah, I think they do, yeah.
Battling away still. Very young side, Petone, and they you certainly can't question their will.
Perennially young side, aren't they, Petone? I've been working on a new nickname for them, the Rebuilders.
The Rebuilders.
Do you think it'll catch on?
We'll ask the text viewers and see what kind of feedback we get on that, Russell.
Let's face it, we've been rebuilding for about 40 years, haven't we?
Since 1990. Talking about cup games and upsets, Cambridge United up there in the Northern League have now equalised against Auckland United. So shows that the small clubs can get amongst it. Whereas Nelson Suburbs are now 5-0, leading Northern 5-0 down there in the south.
Is the aforementioned Noah Billingsley is here? Auckland United? He was. I'm not sure if he still is.
Pickering lofts that high into the area. That's a difficult one for Tonning. But under pressure from Drayton, he cleanly takes it with both hands. And that is good goalkeeping that Petone Club Secretary Barry Pickering of All Whites 1982 fame would have been proud of.
Tonning made a good save earlier from Coleman as well. Came out quite quickly.
He's a tidy keeper, there's no question. In the Central League clash, he made a number of saves that we thought he was top-notch. Into Hurd. He's had an impressive game too up front.
You know, in all seriousness, you know, Petone's always been a bit of an incubator, hasn't it, for good talent, and we see that with Luke Stoop doing so well at Olympic now. Two goals last week in the loss, unfortunately for them, up at Napier, but he's just going from strength to strength, isn't he, Al?
Most certainly is, Russell. And, you know, the other thing about Petone is that in their first teams there's always a large number of junior players that have come through the ranks, and so they can be proud of what they do produce.
Obviously, without the financial resources of some of these other clubs who can entice people away, and good on these guys for having the ambition to want to play at a high level. And
yeah, don't hold back ambition, especially when you're young. Looks like Napier making another one of their substitutions. It looks like Greening is coming on for Emerson.
Substitution for Napier, number 6, C. Greening, replacing driving midfield player for Napier, number 16, Cam Emerson.
Going back to one of our earlier topics about Petone struggling for goals, I guess we have to remember that they have lost some goals from last season.
Well, they lost their whole front three. Kieran
Yeah.
McMinn was runner-up to Golden Boot with 19. Luke Stoop had a sensational season as well, and Bray Whitecliffe went to greener pastures in Christchurch United. Maybe not so green at the moment. Christchurch United very much struggling in that Southern League. I'm not sure what's happened down there under the coaching of Albert Riera, but the trained paramedic needs some help. Davis fires it across. Hoyle stoops low to clear that, and Stanley clears it away to Hurd. Hurd gets a little push in the back from Eglinton, who's uncomfortably caught that, and he's given away a 40-20 down at the Petone defensive end.
That was unfortunate because it was a good little bit of defending from Eglinton, a little nudge on the striker just to win the ball.
Just as he went to play it, wasn't it?
Yeah, but then he sadly misplaced his pass.
It's a great 40-20 for Napier, though. And that's Grenning's first involvement. And he earns his side a throw-in. Just had the official attendance figures. They dropped after half-time. There was 898 people at the ground. 15 minutes into the second half, that dropped down to 706. So a few disappointed supporters here at the Petone Memorial Park. But still, it's been an entertaining match, as Napier have, in all honesty, shown their superiority in a number of areas and certainly taken their chances when they've arisen. Looking at the text machine, Shay Stapleton's got about 60 votes for Player of the Day for Petone, while Luca Barclay leads the Napier City Rovers award. Update on that, Russell?
Yes, those will be the official numbers, current numbers, but it's not too late to get your votes in. We've got 5 minutes of normal time to go. So,
could we see a 5-minute hat trick? Davis now. He's got a lot of pace, Alex Davis, but he doesn't seem to be able to get the room to show it, Phil. We saw him at Olympic a number of times last year. He could really take off, but he seems to get quite stifled here.
Yeah, Napier are very good at shutting down space, aren't they? And closing down. I mean, again, going back to kind of what we said earlier about the foundation of Napier is their defence, isn't it? Very difficult to break down, and they defend from the front. You know, they close teams down, make it difficult for them to play.
Oh, that was a definite foul. The referee's not given it. He's felt sympathetic towards Petone there, I feel. But we'll take it. Coleman, again, jinking, jiving, trying to find something. Petone will probably start to turn their attention to next week's game now. They'll be taking on 9th place Waterside Karori up at Karori Park. They'll be hoping that there's no extra moisture in Wellington over the coming week, because it's quite a heavy laden pitch at the best of times, and I'm talking about January, February. So it's only going to be worse in July. But they'll certainly want to get some points on Waterside Karori. Bet them 2-1 here at Memorial Park, but only a late penalty save from Lucas Siegel secured the 3 points that day. So it's not a given thing. Well, Napier will be at home to 5th place and high-flying Upper Hutt. Upper Hutt having an outstanding season in the Central League this season, and they'll go up to Napier with no fear. But Napier will certainly want to consolidate their place at the top of the table. That's next week, of course. We're still here at Petone Memorial Park, where Petone have a free kick taken by Drayton. He drives it towards the near post. It just needs a touch, and it fell to Davis, and he was caught on his heels a little bit.
It was a great chance, wasn't it? He was 6 yards out, maybe a little more, and it fell to. I don't think he was expecting it. As you say, Ollie, he was a little bit flat-footed, but it's a great delivery from Drayton, wasn't it? That's the one we were crying out for in the first half. Driven
good pace
in,
on it,
great
good pace, penetrative, beat the first man, all those basic things that you want to see.
yeah, it just looked like he was surprised that it had got all the way through to him in some ways, wouldn't it? But and it could have come off any part of his boot.
Hurd flicks the ball on again. And here's a chance for McCowan. Can he finish it? Oh, it's a great save from Stapleton. Brilliant one-handed stop. Dan McCowan will be disappointed he hasn't opened his Chatham Cup account. But you have to say, Shay Stapleton, top of his game physically and mentally, made an outstanding save there.
It was outstanding, wasn't it? He he's probably wrapped up the Player of the Day award, I would think, with that. And as you say, McCowan would be a little disappointed he didn't score from that.
Went to blast it. I know my good striking partner, mate, Russell Turner, was just hit it low and hard into the far post. Russell, is that what you think he should have done there?
Well, we were right behind it, and to be honest, Shea Stapleton did a great job with the angles. I thought, he didn't make it obvious, but yeah, I'm always a fan of low into the far post, and then things can happen. It can hit the post. It can.
McCowan right to the far post, and there's a fantastic finish, and it's Ben Stanley. He has been a thorn in Petone's side today, not just with his goals, but his work rate, and he has put this game to bed, scoring the 4th goal.
Again, I hate to be on replay. That was a little too easy, wasn't it? He was hanging out at the far post. There wasn't enough pressure on him. Good volley. Unlucky for Stapleton. He spread himself well, but I think it might have gone between his legs. But
he's completely unmarked, though, Phil.
Yeah.
It's not about poor marking. It's that there was no marking.
It's ball watching, isn't it? It's guys just not aware of the danger that's around them, and far too easy. And I think it's probably just fatigue at this stage too.
Yeah, I think I don't think we need to play any additional time now. I think we just let it go at 4-0. Here's a chance for Coleman, though. Having said that, if we can get a goal, Coleman, he deserves a goal. He's laid it across the face, but it's just gone behind the back of Luke Grinley and Alex Davis, who both made the same run. So a bit of a lack of communication about forward runs there. Need to time it, one early, one late, one near, one far.
And again, I think maybe Coleman could have been greedy there and had a shot.
Yeah, why not? I can't answer why not, because there is no answer. The answer is why not. Schofield up the line towards Hurd, the man from Hamilton Wanderers in his first season. Now the man Stanley on a hat-trick, and he's just a little bit delayed, but he's got it through to Greening, and Greening cuts inside, and Petone don't deserve to concede 5. 4 additional minutes.
That was possibly Callum Cook's chance, and he's not happy with himself. He miscontrolled it, and it just ran through the Stapleton. Petone escaped.
So this is where we're looking. We want Davis on the ball. We want it with some space. We have some space here, but we're reluctant to try hit that ball forward. As Coleman tries to dink it behind for Grinley, and it wasn't a bad attempt, but it's come out to Stanley, the thorn in Petone's side today. Him and Hurd have been a fantastic partnership, and we wish Leo Brown well with his injury recovery, but I'll tell you what, Napier have lost nothing in performance with him not being on the park today.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. The replacement strike force have been pretty deadly today, haven't they? And they've worked really hard too.
They just seem a bit more fluid. I mean, Brown was, he's a very solid, compact kind of striker, whereas Hurd and Stanley kind of float across the front three. McCowan kind of stays position. Those two alternate, and they certainly cause some havoc. Towards the far post, towards Davis, but he's beaten in the air by Schofield, who goes down dramatically like someone shot him from here with a 303.
I suppose the bad news for the rest of the league is that they haven't even needed Sam Lack today. He's travelled all the way down from Napier, sat on the bench for 90 minutes, and now he's going to 4 hours in the van on the way home, and without kicking a football.
I think I saw him kicking the ball in the warm-up.
I'm sure
Still not confirmed though.
I'm sure he'll be happy that his teammates have done the job for him today.
Pickering, 6th corner of the game for Ollie Pickering, and can Petone get a goal to just say that we do deserve something? It's cleared to the top. Coleman with the chance, difficult chance, spinning, bobbly, uneven pitch, terrible wind, people in the way.
On his wrong foot.
On his wrong foot. His boots were undone. And Napier will just professionally run this game out now.
Quite a contrast with Petone's corner strategy, where they've actually drilled it sort of up high to the far post near the edge of the area and put absolutely no pressure on the keeper or the actual 6-yard box, and it clearly hasn't worked for them, which is...
Greening tries on, but that's scuffed wide. Nothing like the substitutes come on late trying to steal a sensational goal at the end. Petone they've done well. You know, they've not made it to this stage of the competition for a number of years, so they'll be pleased with that, and they'll give the young side heart that they are on the right track, and you know, maybe a couple of summer signings and some strength from within the club, and who knows what we're going to see next year. It's going to be a completely different league next year with the new formations of the National League and Central League. It's going to be very competitive, very even. We talked earlier in the year about Petone wanting to be the best of the rest outside of the Wellington Olympic, Miramar, Western Suburbs, Napier bracket. Are they heading in the right direction? We'd like to think so, but time will tell. Bit of work to do, but certainly the experiences that all these young players gain this year will certainly be fruitful for next year. And that's it here at Petone Memorial Park, and we can't take anything away. Napier fully deserved this victory, especially with their second half performance. They came out from half time with only a 1-0 lead, but 2 quick goals in 15 minutes turned this game, and after that it was always Petone that were chasing uphill to try and get a result. Congratulations to Napier. Great performances from Ben Stanley, Ashton Hurd, Callum Cook, Dan McCowan. In fact, all of Napier played well, but for me the man of the match for them was Luca Barclay, who with his assist and goal really turned the game on its head. For Petone, a number of good performances, but the standout performance for Petone, and it's hard to say this, but it's the goalkeeper, Shea Stapleton, returning to the side, made a number of outstanding saves to keep the score low for a long period of time, but Petone can go away with some heart knowing that they can build on this for the future. Thoughts, Phil?
Yeah, good summary, Ollie. Totally agree with your 2 players of the match for either side. Stapleton on his return obviously justified that selection, didn't he, with some great saves. Entertaining game, well fought, just I guess the experience and the physicality of Napier probably shone through at the end of the day.
Thanks to my other co-commentator Russell Turner, who came into the box today to give his expert advice on how football should be played. You enjoyed the game today, Russell, and what were the positives that came out of it for Petone from your point of view?
Yes, I did enjoy the game, Ol, and thanks for the invite. Enjoyed sitting here with you boys in the cold, but yeah, look, Petone were very competitive in the first half. I thought they were, you know, they almost deserved to be level. Disappointing the way, you know, they just weren't competitive in the second half at all, and rolled over a bit. But you know, again, Napier flying high in the Central League. They're a good side. They're a very experienced side now. Petone, yep. Look, they can now concentrate on the league. They're obviously giving a good account of themselves, and you know, it's always about getting better and rebuilding, and you know, there's enough talent there. You know, very impressed with Xavier Coleman. I thought he was a good. I think he's a good prospect. And like the look of Jared Eglinton at the back, I think he'll improve with experience, and of course the veteran Shea Stapleton in goal. Yeah, as you say, you lose 4-0 and you keep as man of the match. It's not ideal, but is what it is. So anyway, onwards and upwards to next week. I thought the boys tried hard, ran their hearts out, and they should be too good for Wharfies next week, I would imagine. Let's hope.
Let's hope. Let's hope. Football's a funny old game, and a week is a long time in between games, but let's hope. Just wrapping it up there, just a couple of thanks. Thanks to Des Smith, Ray White Realty, for sponsoring of Petone. Do a fantastic job, and we certainly are grateful to have you involved with the club. On the other side of the coin, Thirsty Whale, I know that you sponsor Napier City Rovers, and like I said earlier in the game, great support for your club up there in the Hawke's Bay, and you certainly deserve to go through the quarterfinals, and we wish you well with your endeavours there. It'd be great to see if Petone can't win the Chatham Cup, that at least a team from the Central League win the Chatham Cup, and if you win it, then at least we can say we only lost one game, and that was to the winners. So travel safe back to the Hawke's Bay, Napier. You deserved your victory today. From me, Paul Ollie Olstorm, my good mate and tech director Phil Barton, and super striker and technical assistant Russell Turner. For us, it's ciao for now.
And we're clear. Clear, mate. Well done, mate. guys. Fill it in. Did the hard yards there today. So Des and Les are in for the quiz night.
Oh, yeah.
You and Liz. Well, I'm running 2 teams.
Oh, yeah.
Because Andy and that are in a team as well.
Who's Andy?
Andy Ladd.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff, you know. So we need another 3. Fuck, that was disappointing, wasn't it?